Hello friends, welcome back. Today we are doing an exciting unboxing of this new Saie Best of Saie mini vanity case vault. I picked this one up from Sephora. This is a part of their limited edition holiday sale. I also picked up some of the products that I haven't used before, like their concealer, which I have heard really good things about, and their cream bronzer. I have used some of their other makeup, so we are gonna do a full face of Saie Beauty today while testing out this one and seeing if this is worth the price. I think most of the price comes from the packaging or the case that it comes with. I don't know, it says mini. I don't know if the original one was bigger than this. This is what comes in this box. We have the Saie Lip Liner 101 in the color Twist. We have the black mascara, their powder blush in the color Crazy, one of their liquid blushes in the color Chili, another liquid blush in the color Remix, which is a shimmer one, two of their glowy super gels, one is Warm Glow, the other one is Sun Glow, and their lip gloss, which is called Glossy Bounce in the color Kiss. This is the makeup case. It has a removable inside that you can take out and you can put your makeup in it and wash it off, or if you don't want to, you don't have to use it and you can just use the inside, but I think this is gonna be cleaner. Oh nice, I have actually Rose Glow in a mini version. I think this was a gift with purchase, so let's swatch them all. And we have Warm Glow and Sun Glow here. Remember, Rose Glow is not in this package. And I have noticed with these, they don't have that much of a color. So I think if you have one, it is enough. I usually use these ones as my base for a more glowier base. We have Rose Glow, Warm Glow, and Sun Glow. These have a gel-like texture. They smell like rose water. These are the three colors. I know that they look saturated on the hand, but when you blend them out, they actually don't leave that much of a color. This is a mixture that I had on my hand. I blended it out on the palm of my hand, and this is the color that I got. Since these two come in this one, let's mix them together and see what we get. I like both these colors together. And you know, I love the Saie Slip Tint. I have color 3. I have talked about this one before. This is a beautiful foundation or skin tint. Basically, it does not have that much of a coverage. This is a little bit too pink for me. I was thinking maybe if I use the Sun Glow color and put this one on top, it will look better. This is broad spectrum SPF 35, and as far as I know, this is only zinc oxide. I don't know if it has any boosters or not, but it says zinc oxide 15%, and it never irritates my eyes or face, so I think there is no chemical boosters in this one. I do like this case though. It is tiny. I think the original one was a little bit bigger than this, and I think it was like a camel color. But this is super cute. I love it. I'm gonna use Sun Glow with my fingers and see how this will look like. I don't have anything else on my face. This actually doesn't look bad. You see, they don't have that much of a color to them. I'm gonna use Sun Glow on the high points of the face, like where I usually bronze up. And then I'll use Warm Glow everywhere else. Let's put on a little bit more. This is not as moisturizing as I remember it to be. I remember it was very emollient, but it actually has a good texture to it. Maybe my skin is super dry and that's why. The only thing I could do without is the smell. I don't like the smell of roses in my face products. By the way, this is the size of these two compared to the skin tint. So these are not full sizes, they are mini sizes, and this is the size of the sample that I received. Let's use a little bit of Warm Glow, which is more suited for my skin tone. It has a little bit of glowy tint to it. Basically some golden shimmers to it. This is feeling more moisturizing than the Sun Glow one. It might be because Sun Glow has more pigments in it. I don't want to put too much on because I want to use the slip tint, and this one is super moisturizing. Alright, that was the two. I like these products. These are great as a mixing medium with your foundation to like lighten it up or to make it less full coverage or to make it glowier. I also like them as a base. I like them on top of my foundation. You can use them in many ways. They have a gel-like texture, and most of the things I have used them with work out with these. Let's use this lip tint in the color 3, which I have liked forever. The only thing that I don't like about it is the smell, which right now with the smell of these two I don't hear it that much. That is how much I'm gonna apply for now, but I might add a little bit more. This is the BK Beauty 115. This is a denser brush, and I want to use this because this is a very light coverage foundation. I want to get as much as possible from the foundation. Super easy to blend. You can also use your fingers to blend it out. I usually don't because I don't like my hands to get dirty and then get over everything. A little bit on the eyelids because this is very hydrating, and also it has SPF, mineral SPF in it, so I can apply it everywhere. This also builds up beautifully on top of itself. You saw with the first application I didn't have that much coverage. You can even see here. Now I'm getting a little bit more coverage, and those glowy super gels are showing through and looking amazing under this skin tint. The bronzy one helps with the lighter color of this skin tint as well. I think I'm happy with the coverage. I need a little bit more here, but I'm gonna use the concealer and then see if I need to add a little bit more. If you have sensitive skin, consider this skin tint if you are looking for a good skin tint that doesn't irritate your skin and it has some SPF in it too. Alright, now let's get to this lip tint concealer, Radiant All Over Concealer. This was not a part of the package, the limited edition set. This wasn't a part of that. This one I bought myself. I bought shade 4 because online it looked like shade 4 is a better color match for me. It had a little bit of yellow in it. You can see the foundation is a little bit more neutral. The concealer is a little bit more yellow. I have tried this one in a store a couple of times before, and I think I like the consistency, so we'll see how it will apply under my eyes. I have heard really good things about this concealer. I'm gonna apply this straight to under eyes. And a little bit all over my face, especially because I need a little bit more coverage and color correction. The foundation is looking a little bit more pink on my skin, but the yellow can correct some of the difference in the color. I'm gonna go back to the same foundation brush. I'm gonna blend it out right away and then see if I don't get enough coverage. I'm gonna let it sit on the other eye. This had a lot more coverage than I thought. I applied a little bit too much, but even with that, it is looking gorgeous under the eyes. It has corrected the pink hue of the foundation a little bit, and since I use a lot, it is giving me a lot of coverage too. I'll go over with my sponge, but this is this side with the concealer and this side without. I have a little bit more problem areas on this side, so we'll see if it covers those areas. But I am liking the color of this concealer on me. It doesn't feel too tacky either, but I think I will need setting powder definitely. It is already sinking into my fine lines, which is natural. I have deep fine lines on my crow's feet. Everything is looking good on this area. Okay, let's apply to the other side. I'm gonna use the same amount, but this time I'm gonna actually use a sponge. This is almost wet, not 100%. This is one of those concealers that you can use all over your face as well. When you let the concealer concealer set, I feel like it is getting a little bit less glowy and it is giving me more coverage. Obviously, I'm getting less coverage with the sponge side. Not super different though. I feel like it is looking a little bit more natural. That might be because this is picking up some of the extra product. It covered this area very well. I could apply more, but I don't want it to look cakey. This is the base so far. I have two bronzers from them, the Dew Bronze in the color Salt and also the Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer in the color Fair Bronze. I just picked this one up, the creamy one. I have never used it, but I have heard really good things about it, so I wanted to try it out for this full face of Saie makeup. I'm gonna use both, but let's try this one and see what the texture is. It is very creamy. I remember I have tried this one a couple of times in the store. I decided to pick up shade Fair Bronze because I feel like the next shade up was a little bit too orange for me. This is not showing up that much on camera, but it is my middle finger here. It's gonna show up better on my face. It is giving me a little bit of tint, which I like because I like this one as a contour. So let's apply the contour first and then apply the bronzer. It is very melty. It is not heavy at all. So I think this is gonna be a good one for traveling. For my contour, I'm gonna use Dew Bronze in Salt with number 35 from Refer. I'm gonna apply a little bit to the back of my hand. This is the doe foot. It is easy to use, but a little bit too messy. It is not too messy that I cannot keep it in my collection. This is how much I have on my hand. You see, it is a little bit more of a contour shade for me. It doesn't show up on camera, but it has a little bit of an olive tone to it, which I like. This is basically a hybrid between a contour and bronzer color on me, which I usually like because I prefer to use just one color on a day-to-day basis. These have a lot more color payoff than you might think for Saie Beauty, like their powder blush. I'm going back with my concealer and foundation brush and going over the edges. A little bit on the forehead. And a little bit right here. And finally the nose. I did not pick up any more, it's just whatever I have on my brush. Let's use one of the blushes. I have shade Cutie here with me, which is the shade that I have from before. This is not one of the shades from this collection. I think I made a mistake. Oh, actually the color Remix, which is a shimmer, is a lip gloss. It is not a blush, which I'm glad because I have a blush from them. I didn't need 3, but I have never picked up their lip glosses and I'm glad one of them is shimmer. The one in this collection, the one blush in this collection is called Chili. I think this is the color that I received as a free gift before. This is a Chili, this is Cutie. Cutie is a warm toned nude color, a little bit towards coral orange. Chili is more like a cool toned blush color, more like movie. Since this is in this collection, I'm gonna use this one as my blush. Let me blend them out and see how much payoff they have. I know Cutie is very subtle. This is actually a cute color. I like it. The concealer is actually not looking bad. I don't know if you can see, there is a little bit of settling, but that is natural for my skin. Mostly on this eye. I have most of my crow's feet on this eye. Not much on this one. Okay, let's use the blush, then we will use the Sun Melt bronzer. I'm actually gonna use the same sponge because I want to use a little bit of this blush. I'm gonna apply it to the sponge first on the back of my hand. Ooh, that looks beautiful. Because I have the powder blush too, I want to use that one as well. This is a cute color, not my favorite though, because my own rosacea is the same color, so it is giving me the illusion that my rosacea is peeking through. I think I need a little bit more on this side to matchy match. This is it blended out on my skin, on my hand. You see how glowy and beautiful this is? You can also use these with your fingers. They look gorgeous with your fingers as well. Now I'm going to use the Sun Melt bronzer in Fair Bronze, and then we will apply some concealer if we need it. I'm going to use BK Beauty 116. You can also use your fingers. But this one I don't have to worry too much because it is a very fair color. Wow. It is creamy and beautiful and not a very bold color on me, which I like as my bronzer. It would have showed up more if I didn't have that bronzer underneath, but you can see here a very neutral and natural bronzer on me. Beautiful quality too. It feels super moisturizing. It feels like a balm on my skin. I'm glad I picked up the lighter color. I don't like to look too bronzy. This is a beautiful natural bronzer. I love this color. I'm so happy I didn't pick up the darker one. That one would have been too much. Look at that glow. I feel like as I get older, I am getting more and more interested in bronzers like this that don't have too much color to them. They are just a little bit darker than my skin tone. Look at this. This is not that much darker than my skin tone, which is why it looks more natural. I'm gonna go over everything with my foundation brush one more time. And then I'm gonna apply a little bit of concealer under the eyes, a little bit more. I'm gonna use my finger this time. This is a lot thicker than I thought. It's just surprising to me. I thought it is gonna be the same texture as this lip tint, like very thin, very emollient. I basically covered up the blush, but I don't know, I feel like this is what I like more. And I have the powder blush too, so we are gonna add a little bit more blush. I don't see that much of a difference between applications, which is good. I'm gonna go over one more time with my sponge. Going over with the sponge makes it look a lot more natural. Let's set this face before it gets messed up with this Slip Tint Undetectable Baked Setting Powder in the color Translucent 2. If you remember, or if you have watched my videos, I picked up color 1 first, but then I realized color 1 was a little bit too light for me and it made my skin super glowy. So that made me hate the powder at first. I feel like color 1 was a little bit glowier than this one. I'm gonna use this angled concealer brush from Anissa Beauty. This doesn't have any mirror. It's just a very simple packaging. And the powder has a little bit of a glow to it. And as I mentioned before, I feel like it is very reminiscent of the MAC mineralized skin finish powders. By the way, I did a comparison between this and the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. I compared them in a short video, which I will put up in a couple of days. I haven't gotten to editing that one, but I have to say this is not close to that highlighter. That Pure Nude highlighter is an actual highlighter. This is an actual powder. Maybe it is closer to shade 1, but I feel like this is closer to what I have from MAC. Let's make sure there are no creases. I don't think I have ever used this powder with Saie Slip Tint, so I don't know how it is gonna perform. I'm gonna try to use not too much. This eye is with the powder, this eye is without. You see, it didn't take away the glow that much, but it looks a little bit more set. As I mentioned before, this powder is not completely dry. It actually feels a little bit more sticky than every other powder that I have. I'm gonna set this side of my face so that you can see the difference. I do not notice that much of a difference. I'm not gonna set this area because that is where it looks too powdery. I'm gonna set the cheek area because I want to use the blush. This does not look too good all over the face, so you have to be careful how much you're using. Okay, this is 1/2. This side doesn't have anything. And now let's set the other side. This is not my most favorite powder, but at least it is better than shade 1. I'm gonna apply a little bit more powder right here because it is looking a little bit too glowy right now. I'm gonna use this one from IT Cosmetics, the Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. My opinion has changed about this powder. After I picked up shade 2, shade 1 was horrible on me, but shade 2 looks a lot better. But this is not a very versatile powder for me. I would have liked it more if it set my makeup and it also gave me that glow, but my face doesn't feel set after I use this one, which is also what I mentioned before. If you like something that is not very dry, go for it. This is an amazing product for that purpose, but for me, when I'm looking for something to set my makeup, it is something like the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores or any other powder that I have mentioned in my channel. I'm going to use another concealer brush, which is this IT Cosmetics Angle Concealer Brush. This is one of the most blurring powders I have seen in my life. I only used a little bit. I didn't use too much. You can see I set my eyelids, but I still am getting some creasing. I'm gonna actually set around my lips a little bit because it is a bit too emollient for lip liner. I'm gonna use the Benefit Cosmetics 24-hour brow setter, and I only use the longer side because I don't want my brows to look laminated. I'm planning on tattooing my brows because you can see there are some bald spots in my brows. So I'm trying not to touch them until I get there. I love how set this powder makes my under eyes. Wish me luck with this powder blush. This is the Saie Super Suede Radiant Blush Powder. When these came out, I swatched all of them in a store. And actually, the only one that I felt like I could use was this color, which is called Crazy. But it is actually too dark for my skin tone, so that is the reason I never picked it up. The other colors, like the color Mia, looked a little bit like the NARS one, a little bit reminiscent of that NARS Orgasm blush with the gold shimmers to them. That one is actually a perfect color for my undertone and my skin depth, but I hate that color, pink with gold shimmers. So when I was looking at the colors, this one was the only one that looked good, and I'm glad this is in this holiday collection because this is the only one I would have picked up. The only concern for me is that this is a darker color and I have to be super careful blending this out. Let me do a super saturated swatch. This also has gold shimmer in it, but the gold shimmer does not show up as much as the color Mia. This reminds me of the gold shimmers in the color Nymphet in Pat McGrath's blushes, which I think she has discontinued that color. So if you liked that color, this is a very close color to that one. I was gonna declutter this, but I wasn't sure if I did or not. But apparently I was too weak. This is Nymphet from Pat McGrath. This is Crazy from Saie. Nymphet is a lot lighter. So let's try this one and see how it will look like. I'm gonna use a very fluffy brush. This is Sonia G Soft Cheek. This one is picking up a lot. Nope, this is not a good brush. Let's try this one from Nikki LaRose N15 to blend this out. That's better. That's a lot better. It is diffusing the blush a lot more. Okay, that is actually a beautiful color. I really like applying my blush here at the corner of my eye and the corner of my cheek. A little bit on the side of the forehead to tie in the look. That is a beautiful color. I'm glad Grazy is the one that is in this collection. And I love this brush. I don't know what took me so long to pick this one up, and I'm glad I did. This is a beautiful brush. I was able to pick up her volume 2. It will come in the mail in a couple of days. I might be traveling after it comes in, so I might take it with me while I'm traveling. I think I will write this was my favorite color because it is a little bit berry toned, but at the same time it is not too dark and too saturated, and these are super easy to blend out, so you can apply a little bit instead of having a very saturated color. But do you agree these look a lot like MAC powder blushes, their previous versions? I feel like a lot of their products give me MAC Cosmetics vibe. Next product from this limited edition collection is their mascara. This is actually a full-size mascara. They didn't put in a mini size. All of their products except for these two were full-size products. This is the Saie Mascara 101 in color black. This is the spoolie on this mascara. I have never used this mascara before, but the spoolie looks interesting and looks like something that I like in my mascaras. I like plastic or silicone spoolies. So let's apply this and see how it looks. This also has a little bit of a rose smell to it. Let's hope it doesn't irritate my eyes. I like this spoolie. It is stiff, which makes it easy to separate the eyelashes, and also the quality of the mascara is not very gooey, very thick, which is what I like. It does not make my eyelashes clumpy. It is a very natural mascara. It is giving me a lot of length, not much of volume, but length is actually what I prefer in my mascaras. This is almost 2 coats. Very natural, very everyday mascara. So if you are a fan of super volume and super length, this is not for you. This is a very, very natural mascara. It didn't burn my eyes when I was applying it, so that's a good sign for now. We'll see if it irritates my eyes during the day. Usually my eyes get itchy if they don't like the mascara, which is usually what happens with drugstore mascaras. What a beautiful everyday mascara. I like it. I like it a lot. And we are down to last 3 products. This is called Lip Liner 101 in the color Twist. Oh, I like the consistency of this lip liner. I was worried it is gonna be a little bit too emollient for a wooden pencil, but it is actually a very good quality. This is in the color Story of Whirl from MAC too. Let's apply this and then decide about the lip glosses. A little bit creamier than MAC though. Beautiful color. This is also one of the lip liner colors that I was interested in, so I'm glad it came in this holiday collection. Beautiful medium toned color. This is cute. Very comfortable on the lips too, not too dry, not too emollient. Now let's swatch these two. These are the Glossy Bounce Hydrating Lip Oils. These also come in the holiday collection. This looks like the blush, the powder blush in the color Grazy. This is Remix and this is Kiss. They have no smell to them. Kiss is basically a clear lip gloss. It has a very, very slight hint of pink to it. Remix has more color to it and it is shimmery but not glittery. I think I'm gonna use Remix. It looks a lot better with the lip liner. And since I don't have much of a color anywhere else, I think this is gonna look good. I do not feel the glitters or shimmers on my lips at all. If you are looking for a really good makeup bag, very sturdy and a great quality, I think this set is worth the price because you have a lot of good makeup in this set, in my opinion. The only concern I had was the mascara because I am very picky about my mascaras, but I am happy to report that the mascara actually worked really well for me. Fingers crossed this does not irritate my skin or irritate my eyes during the day. Everything else I also loved. The lip gloss is very comfortable. I loved the lip liner. I loved the blush. I loved both of these, but I have used them before and I knew I liked them. Everything from this set was super beautiful. If you have any questions, please don't forget to ask me in the comment section, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. That will help me a lot. And don't forget, what helps me even more is you watching my long format videos to the end and even watching those that you haven't watched before. Thank you so much for tuning in and for staying with me until the end of this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!